Welcome to the weekend edition. I'm Dr. Kingodu. We have a great show lined up for you tonight. It's a double treat. One of our guests was introduced to his children when they were adults, yet he lived with them in the same house for all those years. You'll find out more about that in a bit because David Ogot is in the house. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Also in the house, following the debate on the legalization of Bhang in Kenya, the debate is picking up at a very considerable speed. One of the voices in support is Raila Jr. He's also in the building. Thank you. Thank you. Before we get to that part of the show, though, Baringo County is on the spot for allegedly buying a meat chopping board for 20,000 shillings. Kwa wale hawajui, hiyo ni ile mbao ya kukata nyama na vitunguu. But for 20,000 shillings, it can also pass for a team of butchers hired by the county government, wakate nyama, hence the Baringo chopping board. Yes, the county has defended the purchase, claiming that hii sio ile chopping board mnajua ya kukata nyama na kutengeneza kachumbari. This one is special, and the county intends to use it for other purposes, kama kukata mishahara. And now, still on meat, this week our Deputy President William Ruto had this warning for the butchers and traders seeking to exploit the 8% VAT introduced on petroleum products.
Sisi wote tuungane tufukuze wakora ambao wanatumia ile nafasi ambayo tunatafuta pesa ya kufanya maendeleo Kenya, wanatumia hiyo nafasi kujitajirisha wenyewe kwa kuongeza mambo ya ushuru kwa wananchi ama mambo ya nauli kwa wananchi. Hata mwingine anaendesha butchery hapo anaanza kusema unajua sasa nyama ninaongeza ati kwa sababu bei ya VAT. Sasa ng'ombe inakunywa mafuta jameni, iko ng'ombe inakunywa petroli. Si ni ukora tu ya mchana.
This is the most shocking discovery I've made this week, because you mean all this time ng'ombe hazikunywangi petroli, yet every time I'm in the butchery there is always someone ananiambia mtu wa butcher, mimi usiniwekea hiyo iko na mafuta. Aya basi wenye mnataka nyama ya mafuta mjue iko na 8%. Now, in other news, legendary hitmaker Red Sun, aka Obado than most, made headlines for clobbering his producer Sapi. That's probably the reason he was clobbered. If his name was something like DJ Bunduki, there is no way Red Sun would have retanguled him like that.
Unaniambia nini bwana buda? Nini mnaniambia? Niambia nini chinga? Kama na heshima. Nakwambia bwana, ninapenda vitu niambia. Niambia. Mimi nitakusimame wewe mwanaume. Amka. Niambia nini kufanya? Kati hapa.
Soja! Soja! Tunapevamiwa! Soja tumevamiwa! Soja! Soja njoo tumevamiwa!
Now, I think the beating was the album launch because it has all the elements of successful music. Successful music. The producer amekubali hiyo beat ni kali and the musician moved the crowd mpaka tukasikia nduru. What is that Sapi refused to release the master copy of the baddest album because Red Sun had allegedly not paid for the studio fees. I guess that's how Red Sun arrived at Buttertree. And Sapi was unhappy with the exchange rate. If Red Sun was our president, he deni ya China tungemaliza hivyo tu. So yeah. Tumevamiwa. Elsewhere, a Mr. Sifuna Muhebi was given a 7-day deadline by a Kitale court to pay dowry, but he has sworn that he will not pay anything because the decision was arrived at behind his back. How embarrassing would it be if you ended up in prison over unpaid dowry? Ndugu yangu nalala kamiti sababu hujalipia bibi mifugo. Si ukesema ni wewe umeolewa. Now, according to the Daily Nation, the father-in-law is demanding for 10 heads of cattle, 2 goats, 10,000 shillings for his wife, 2 blankets, 1 coat, a godfather hat, and gumboots. The cows and goats, and the money is okay. Kitu nanisumbua ni, how do you raise a child, pay school fees, attend all parents' day meetings, alafu akuja chukuliwa na gumboots? Does it get worse than that? Afadhali wewe walikuchukua na gumboots. Mimi walinichukua na soda ndogo. Papa alimaliza hata kabla sijatoka kwa pombe. Sichupa ndio ile wameweka mafuta taa. And now, the main subject of our show tonight has been inspired by the calls to legalize Bhang in Kenya, most recently the proposal by Kibra MP Ken Ogot.
A person grow marijuana only to an extent of 2 acres. A person not produce marijuana near a school or place of worship. A recreational user is required to apply for a license on an annual basis, and a person will be required to obtain a prescription for medical use. And in order to qualify for a license, one must be of the age of majority and present an ID card, be of sound mind, and present a certificate of good conduct from the DCI.
Does it get crazier than that? Applying for a weed smoking license annually. And then to qualify for the license, you must present a certificate of good conduct from the DCI. How do you go to the DCI offices to apply for a good conduct ndio upewe license ya kuvuta bangi? This sounds like a proposal for people to be issued with a certificate of good conduct so that you can engage in a crime. This also means that if the bill passes, it will not be illegal to smoke weed. It will be illegal, as in the crime will be to smoke without a license. With the way I know weed operates, I wouldn't be shocked if people start landing in jail for rolling weed in the license paper. Wewe kijana, umegeuza license risla. Umefuta jina yako, umefuta mpaka signature ya mtosi. Wewe na ile chimney iko pale kwa kona, mko pamoja? Wapi license yako kijana? Ati afande chorea mimi na Ivana waiting. The debate on the legalization of cannabis sativa is a divisive one, which is understandable because weed affects people differently. This would explain why some governments have legalized it while others have not. Ironically, most drugs, especially weed, is destroyed the same way it's consumed, that is, by burning. And this offers the best platform to show how differently drugs affect people. We have people who claim that moshi ya bangi hufanya watu wakuwe machopi ama wapende masomo. This case of journalist in Kisumu standing beside a stash of burning weed can support this theory.
600 liters of waragi spirit, Simba waragi. So the cost of that liquor is 100 street value.
Mwana vile watu wako rada na notes. Hiyo ni bangi. Now, others claim that weed smoke can cause insanity. Again, let's use a case of a reporter standing next to a heap of drugs on fire.
Burning behind me is 8.5 tons of heroin, opium, hashish and other narcotics.
Kila mtu wako na effect yake. That's evidence that we've all consumed illegal drugs one way or another. And if you think you are safe because you've never been anywhere near drugs being destroyed by fire, remember that drugs are also destroyed by sinking ships in deep sea. Now just imagine how many people have eaten fish. Why do you think most people sleep after eating? Or why do you think you feel dizzy when you've overeaten? Hujaiona mtu macho yake imekuwa red na uko sure hakuna kitu amevuta. Buda umekuwa jicho nyanya, umevuta bangi saa ngapi na tumeshinda na wewe? Ai, si hata wewe macho yako ni red, I think ni hiyo samaki. See, when it comes to the legalization of weed, some Kenyans view it as a setback in the fight against drugs. On the other hand, the people fronting the debate claim that cannabis sativa has medicinal benefits. Everyone has a point. And this seems like it will be a tough one, considering the government position is clear.
Na yale ambao mimi naweza sema kuhusu bangi ambao amepatikana, amepelekwa Kodele police station, na mimi naonya vijana ambao bado naendelea kutumia mambo bangi. Na sasa bangi inaribu kichwa ya vijana. Anashinda vijana kazi, hawezi kufanya kazi. Na mimi kama senior assistant chief, area yangu hii, sitaki bangi yoyote mtu unatembea naye. Kama we unajua unatoka na pombe pale ya Ugenya wapi, pita naye binguni, hapana pita naye kwa ile yangu ya witasa location. Hiyo nimeweka mtego sana kwa wananchi wote.
I don't think weed smokers will take that as a threat. Kupita na banki ama pombe mbinguni is the main reason most people take drugs in the first place. To help us break this subject down, we have everyone represented. David Ogot has been a victim of drug abuse, and Raila Jr. is also is one of the voices who believe that Bhang could be beneficial to Kenyans if it were legalized. Join us on the second part of the show in a bit after this short break for us to extend this conversation even further.
Life is a journey, and GG Motors offers you the most reliable means to get to every planned destination. With a reputation spanning over a decade of the best trade-in and import deals in the country. GG has created a brand that will definitely get you there. Visit any of our branches on Hurlingham, Agwins Kodek Road and Kiambu Road, or call 0726 310 490 for a chance to move in style at a price that is friends with your pocket. GG Motors, your trusted motor dealer.
Welcome back to the Weekend Edition. I'm Dr. Kingori. The subject of our show tonight, we are covering drug abuse and the conversation around legalizing weed in this country. Our guest tonight, we have two guests. It's a double treat, as I said when we started the show. One of them is David Ogot. He has a very strong story as far as drug abuse is concerned. Wapi makofi ya David Ogot. Thank you. Also in the house, looking out for your right to get to higher levels, Raila Jr. Wapi makofi yake? Karibuni. Karibuni kwa show. Yeah. Your first experience na weed was very interesting. And I followed the story mpaka mahali uli quit. I don't know kama you picked it up later.
Yeah, the first time I used, because uko kwa shule.
Yes.
So we are smoking cigarettes. Then guys have graduated, so cigarettes are ni kawaida. So naambiwa,
yes,
you are still on cigarettes. Jaribu hii. So I said, wacha ni jaribu.
Ukaonja.
Nikaonja. And then the plane took off.
Yes.
Sasa si mimi ndio pilot. And it's going to a mountain, I want to turn or go over, inaenda through.
Yes.
Then it's coming to land, ile naenda kushuka, it takes off again. So I told God, please, if you can help me land this plane, land nishuke. I will never ponder it again. And I did not touch weed again. That was Form 2 till I was in Form 6.
Kwani ilikuwa ime-expire? Because from the feedback I've received, it's quite a different experience. Junior, I had a special request to ask you a question. Yeah? Yes, we are on a campaign for the rights of the Kenyans and the hidden Rastafarians. Ya legalization of weed. Mtu alikuwa anauliza kama umewahi vuta ama unataka kujaribu but you want to do it legally.
Of course, thank you very much, Dr. Kingori. Smoking is illegal in this country.
Yes.
And I wouldn't advocate for anything illegal. So that being said, you know, I was young once. I used to do a lot of things, but currently, you know, my body is my temple. I don't smoke, I don't eat, I don't drink. Just to clarify that point. So that's why I feel I'm the best to advocate for this.
You quit once, and what was your experience going back to weed again?
If you look, I touched it in Form 6.
Yes.
Again, bad flight. So I thought, unajua, sometimes I had allergies. There were things I could not eat when I was a kid. Sometimes uko mahali, hakuna pombe, hakuna sigara, and they're smoking weed. Na niko na queue. So I say, okay, wacha ni jaribu. So again, the bad flight. And I told Mungu, Pole, I know I had promised. But now this time, sitaguza. So I didn't touch again till I was in India. India, I found hashish. Sasa hashish, when I smoked it, hiyo ilikuwa flight mzuri. Not that I am advocating.
Yes.
You see why we say drug of choice?
Yes.
The weed guy is telling the pombe guy, pombe ni mbaya. The pombe guy is telling the weed guy, weed ni mbaya. The weed guy, the pombe guy are telling the heroin guy, heroin ni mbaya. The heroin guy is telling both those guys heroin ndio, the rest ndio mbaya. That's why we call it drug of choice, the one which gives you a good flight. And I am telling you, again, I'm not advocating. I was playing chess, I could see like 30 moves ahead. Lakini, there was also in India something called wengbeng. Hii ni bangi imepondwa, then it becomes a paste like mrenda. So you order teaspoon or 2 teaspoon or 3 teaspoon. And you are advised, if you are a new person, don't even take a full teaspoon. So the one guy who was in my group, akakunywa. Then we saw the guy pandering his bicycle in the middle of a highway, busy highway, kama Uhuru highway, matrailers, jamaa katupa baiskeli, he was running. Unajua tukaenda tukamshika, tukampeleka kwa hostel, tukamfunga. Then he was shouting, he was what? Then the next day when we asked him what happened, teaspoon moja.
Yes.
When we asked him what happened, he said when he was riding his bicycle, he saw the road dividing. Now Pandei was going to hell. Sasa he's trying to go Pandei heaven. Na bicycle inaenda Pandei ndi alitupa. I never touched wengbeng.
Yes.
You pia ni weed.
You learned from another person's experience.
You pia ni weed.
You had technically almost the same childhood na David Ogot in terms of privileges. How comes you look like a very responsible person? Sasa hii ni yako to us.
I don't look responsible.
As in, I'm responding to you have told us a story. Kwenda huko. You look like wewe hauna story za kama vile David Ogot anatuambia yeye alikuwa kesi. So for you, Junior, from the background yenye sisi the whole country knows you're from, and you also mentioned something tukianza, you had your time ya sins. Nyinyi mlikuwa na hiyo privilege ya kufanya dhambi?
Yes. Tuendelee.
Because
I've always wanted to do that.
Yes. Ndio huyo ulikuwa unasalimiwa na Junior for congratulations, ama you share an experience.
I understand what he's talking about.
So tujijazie from there.
I can give you a story,
yes.
Just to explain.
Yes.
I think when I was in high school, there was a time we were found with stuff that we weren't supposed to have.
Yes.
So, the headmaster obviously calls the parents. They say, excuse me, could you come to class? Kuna shida hapa, nini nini. So the headmaster calls everyone and we're sat there. And they explain, alipatikana na hii, na hii, na hii, na hii.
Yes.
So then they say, okay, we're going to expel him we're going to suspend him for 2 weeks. And obviously, people like my dad now says, usifanye hivyo. Wacha nimpeleke nyumbani siku moja. One day. For me, I was like, hey, please, no. Yo siku moja nilienda, nilirudi, I never touched anything anymore. Jijazie.
Now I know how those closed door meetings with Baba work. Sawa. Now the conversation you started, do you see any fruits coming from that, ama it just ends with the tweet?
Basically, at least we've started a conversation.
Yes.
And the good thing with social media is you have a back and forth gambling with these things. So that's one way of starting a conversation. Watch let's see how it goes. If in future there's anything I need to contribute, I shall contribute to it. Yes. This marijuana, if we're not so hypocritical about the medical use of it, even back in the day, in the olden times, it was used kitambo sana. If you ask your grandmother, your great-grandmother, I know even in terms of laws, yes, it was used as a to lessen the pain, as a painkiller, yes. And I know even with pregnancies and during labor, They would mix it with some herbs in a hat, and they'll steam it, and this would help during the labor pains. So it's not just recently that this has been, it has been throughout.
It's been there.
Do you have the history, like they used to smoke the elders peke yake ama mpaka watoto?
Mpaka watoto, cause you know, even nikikaa chini na mzee nikiuliza some of the things that people used to do back in the day. Unajua mtu na ng'ombe is being told to walk for I don't know how many kilometers to fetch river.
Yes.
So hawa ni watoto walikuwa wakishika hizi vitu wanavuta, and before they know it wamefika kwa hiyo mto.
Mzee
sijasema mzee.
Thank you for the clarification.
When Mheshimiwa Ogot is bringing up this bill, we need to look beyond the emotions surrounding Bangi. We will make all this noise, and then badai, when we now look at it and emotionally, when other countries have done it, then we see where could the government get tax. Remember when Waititu said change the river?
Yes, move the river.
Si watu walicheka.
Yes.
But if you look at it, we are bombarding buildings. London is built on river. But you see, because we look at Waititu and some other things he does, you know, when he's very passionate. you see, you don't actually look at what is the fellow actually saying.
I was so pressured within me to call you for this conversation, because this is not the first time you've said something on Twitter and it was picked as a national conversation. Do you feel some sort of responsibility at the fact that there are things hawezi hepa we mwenyewe?
Certainly sometimes it does.
Yes.
Because, you know, I've never pushed for anyone to follow me on social media. Me being at Raila Jr., by the way.
Yes.
But the way we were raised, I'm a very opinionated person. And for me, sometimes when I say something, I say it how I see it. All right?
Yes.
Recently, I got in trouble for some things that I don't feel comfortable speaking right now. But I feel social media is a platform where people can air their views, can say, okay, this thing is like this, but me naona ni hivi.
David, you had you've seen it all as far as drugs are concerned. But when you advise people, ukiambia mtu usivute bangi, kila mtu anataka kuwe na experience yake. What do you think is, instead of telling people stop drinking, stop smoking, stop doing all the other things, do you think we should now start advising people on how to experience drugs in a special way and how to stop?
I've slept on the street on 2 continents, kwa bus station, kwa railway stations, because of drugs. My education, I was sharing with Junior. I went to India for a 3-year course. I never stepped into a classroom, and I stayed 4 years. I tried to commit suicide. Nikajikatakata, nikameza pills. I was in a coma. My mother came.
You are unkillable.
That could be a song. So it all boils back down to you. First, where as an individual, whether you are a parent, you are not a parent. Bangi is here, pombe is here, sex is here, sijuin, everything is there. What are you going to use? You as a person, whether you are a parent or not, but you are an adult. Then, for your children, if you have children, how are you going to arm them with tools? So that, like my sons now, by the time I left rehab in 2001, and I had talks with them, and they were being told, Ebu jaribu hii, unapewa lecture ya tobacco, paka unawachana nao. Okay? Arm them with the tools. And then if you have any energy left, go to the rest of society. Because for every recovering addict you see, there are 9 dead and buried whose people and themselves did not know what the problem was and that there was a solution. So when we sit 10 of us in a room, and I started my NGO when I left rehab. My background is media. I wrote my first article when I was in rehab. Nation newspapers did my first article. My Sharia guy though was the whatever, but I wrote it. And I said I must look after the sub-editors I've done and approve. And then I relapsed. And I was sitting at a bar off Yaya. And I'm hearing people whispering, yes, yeah, yes, yeah. So somebody came and asked me, boss, excuse me, are you the one we saw in the newspaper the other day, umewacha pombe? A very nice article. I said, yes. Na hii ni nini unakunywa? So I told them, story ya when I left alcohol, mulisoma. Sasa hii story ya nimerudia, can you wait for it? Am I disturbing you? Can you go back to your table?
Yes.
At the end of the day, one of the places my parents took me 3 times, 3 visits only, cost over an M in the 90s. How many families can afford?
Very few.
I remember the first time I got gonorrhea in Form 3.
Junior. Junior, I have to admit, you're the most careful individual I've ever met. Because Junior anasikia David amesema kitu ako. Okay, yes.
And so finally I asked some friends and they told me some doctor. So when I go to the doctor, he's telling me what's the problem. I say, oh, hapa nasikia ananipea dawa. So when now this thing had zidded, I even went and being told to sit, I can't sit because kwanza you have to pull your trousers. Both ikikuguza hapa zitima ile. So when I told the doctor nimechomwa,
yes,
he said I knew. But since the problem is yours, I was waiting for you to tell me. Now, how many guys had slept with that chick? And they were okay. Lakini machinery ya nani ilishika moto?
Please tell us more about Naam. Naam. I see a pregnant woman, alafu the firstborn is a bottle.
So we started this in 2004.
Yes.
National Alcohol Awareness Month, Kenya. So I said I'm going to wear a t-shirt with a drug abuse message from October 1, 2003 to October 1, 2004.
Okay.
And if nobody does it,
yes,
we'll do it.
Okay.
And of course, nobody did it, Ministry of Health, etc. So we started. Okay. The first one was alcohol and HIV.
Yes.
This is the 14th one.
Yes.
Mothers and alcohol.
Yes.
And mothers,
yes,
or females,
yes,
are the most affected by any drug use. You are seeing from the bottle,
yes,
the hand coming from the bottle.
Yes.
You are seeing she's pregnant. Women,
yes,
who drink when they are pregnant.
Yes, 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 yes.
Your kid is born, apart from possibility of being born deformed.
Yes.
Your kid can be born and immediately go into withdrawals. Because whatever you
yes,
consume,
yes, yes,
your kid is consumed. And if there's anybody
interested
out here
journey,
or watching who has a problem, you are a mother, etc., please,
they can go to goinghome.com. Goinghome.com. Yes, goinghome.com.
Or just Google
just log in to the site and you'll get all the help they need. Yes, Facebook. I think we've covered as much as possible. Junior has clarified what the legalization of medicinal marijuana means. David, we have to also book another session, Sasa. Yeah, separately, because your story is so strong. We've not even touched. Atujaguza.
David ni moto sana.
David ni stima. Raila Junior anajua atatugonga na tweet ingine moja moto hapo. Alafu tena tutakuita tena.
I really appreciate.
Kwanza next time ukichangamka pia utuambie, utatupatia my inside stories kabisa. Correct. Na details. Karibu tena. Si ndio? Wapi makofi yao? Now, that's it for the weekend edition. See you next week. My name is Dr. Kingori.